You bring a gun into the district, you mark my words, you're going to jail. I don't care if you have a license in another district, and I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else. You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail, and hope you get the gun back.
Thanks for watching. I'm your host, Chris Swainhart, and this is GunStuff. GunStuff is dedicated to arming America, one law-abiding citizen at a time. And if that describes you, you are in the right place. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Scope Bumper. Now, this is a product that was just begging to be invented, and these guys did it. Charter Arms is with us. They're going to be announcing our new contest where we're giving away the famous Boomer. It's a great self-defense handgun. Could be yours. Just stick around and find out. Montgomery Community College, they have a great program for people wanting to learn to be gunsmiths. And we always appreciate the Second Amendment Foundation. So this week, your favorite, my favorite judge, Jeanine Pirro, you know, I was telling this to somebody else this week. Is she a real judge? She had her own TV show or whatever. But hey, she's threatening. If you bring your firearm into Washington, D.C., you're going to be in big, big trouble. And Judge Jeanine is going to throw you in jail. Is that legal? I'm not sure. In fact, I think it's pretty much not. But Kostas from the Second Amendment's Foundation is going to make it clear. Kostas, what on earth is she thinking of there? Now, is she a holdover from the Biden administration? I wanted to make sure that first, because it sounds like she's obviously a Biden appointee. Am I right?
No. So Judge Jeanine Pirro, now Attorney Jeanine Pirro for D.C., is appointed by President Trump. And what this is an example of is the administration needs to get all the New Yorkers in a room and make sure they stop talking about guns, because even Republicans from New York a lot of times seem to not have much respect for the Second Amendment. And I think that's what's happening here. The good news is she's partially walked back the statement in what I joked looked like a hostage video, where she essentially corrected the error in law she made, which she said that you can't bring a gun into D.C., period. There is a non-resident permit application process for D.C. Many people have D.C. permits, which allows them to carry a gun across the border into D.C. But there's a bigger problem here, and that's that her statement indicates that she doesn't support what we call reciprocity, which is if you have a permit in one state, then you should be able to carry another state, or in this case, the District of Columbia. She seems to think, even in her corrected statement, that it's fine to prosecute people if they don't have a D.C. permit. And while that is the law, it's a bad law, it's unconstitutional, and other members of the administration, including Harmeet Dillon, who's doing an excellent job in the Civil Rights Division, have publicly expressed support for reciprocity. And so has President Trump, who officially has endorsed legislation to provide for interstate reciprocity. So I don't know why Judge Jeanine is spouting this position. It goes against some of the great work the administration is doing.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And there are congressmen that take exception to this. But let's just say if she has her way and no law-abiding citizens are armed, is that going to solve the gun violence problem in Washington? What do you think? Oh,
no. So first of all, I'll take her at her word in her corrected statement that her way is that you have to have a D.C. permit. okay, fine. But even if her first statement were true, this implication that people with carry permits from any state, whether it's DC or anywhere else, that they're the problem is preposterous. There's no statistical evidence for it, yet she's out there in her first video implying that they're going to cause crime, so they need to be arrested. It's preposterous. People with carry permits almost never commit crimes. We've argued this in court, and states like California and New Jersey, who hate guns, couldn't even provide a counter argument because there's no evidence to say otherwise. So I hope that Judge Jeanine gets, I keep calling her Judge Jeanine because that's what she's colloquially referred to as. I know that's not her current position, but I hope she gets a better understanding of our Second Amendment rights, especially if she's going to be prosecuting people for firearms possession in D.C.
Well, things have changed down just a little further south of Washington, D.C. You get down into Virginia. And in Virginia, the Democrats have taken control, lock, stock, and barrel of the executive, the legislative, everything. And of course, they said, "Oh, we're just moderates. We're good old wholesome Clinton Republicans, but actually Clinton Democrats. But I tell you what, they are trying to do everything they can to take away our Second Amendment rights in Virginia." Could you outline some of their attempts, what's going on down there?
Oh, there's so much on the board out there. They're pretty much trying to speed run California. You know, I'm out here in California, so I have that first time joke. You guys are gonna be just like us pretty soon. But assault weapons bans, magazine capacity limits, licensing, registration. I think this bill might have died, but they wanted to ban shooting on your own land if it was under 5 acres, which has always been allowed in Virginia as long as you do so safely. So there's just the whole menu of the Giffords and Everytown wish list is being pushed in Virginia right now. They want to put a $500 tax on suppressors is another one I just remembered. So all sorts of stuff. And you know what's bothersome about this is they did win in November big time. The Republicans can't deny that. They got their clocks cleaned. But they didn't really run on gun control. They ran on cost of living and, we want to be moderates and centrists, like you said. Gun control was not a big part of their platform, and yet it's one of the first things they're doing now that they're back in power. And that just goes to show you that money talks, because Everytown and other anti-gun organizations gave hundreds of thousands of dollars of donations to Spanberger and other Virginia Democrats, and they're getting what they paid for. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't matter that, a lot of Democrats right now, agree or not, they disagree with what ICE is doing, and so they're all of a sudden expressing, understanding of the Second Amendment. So, and yet even now, even as Democrats nationally are suddenly supporting the Second Amendment, they're still pushing these infringements in Virginia because, again, they are bought and paid for.
Is there a middle ground? And this is a rhetorical question, because I don't think there is a middle ground at all. These people want to take away our rights, and I think it's important to them. Anywhere an authoritarian regime has been established, you can go back to the 30s, so Hitler, look at communism, around the country, wherever it's been tried, they disarm the public, and then it's not a good result. So I don't think there is any middle ground. We actually need to be fighting for this, because by fighting for the Second Amendment, Kostas, aren't we just fighting for the United States of America?
Yeah, it's as core to the United States as free speech is. And I want to talk real quick about this middle ground. They always campaign on the things most people agree with. I might take issue with things like background checks or red flag laws for constitutional reasons, but it's true that the public opinion supports those. The thing is, when they actually get in power, they don't stop at background checks. That's what they campaign on, but then they're banning common firearms, putting in massive taxes, all sorts of craziness. So this moderacy claim is totally fake, and people should stop falling for it. Maybe someday there will be some Democrat that really only does want background checks, and we can have an honest debate with that person, but I have not seen that yet. And yes, we absolutely have to stand up for our rights, because once you lose the right to bear arms, it's very hard to get it back without violence.
No, we're at the end. The Second Amendment Foundation is something that everyone can get behind. You don't have to be a gun industry person. You can just be any Joe Q public, a citizen in the United States. How can they join, and what are the benefits, Kostas?
Sure. So you go to saf.org, saf.org. You become a member. You can donate or just become a member. I think it's $25 for an annual membership, so it's pretty affordable. And there are lots of benefits. If you follow our website, we keep you up to date constantly on both our litigation and amicus briefs efforts. And sometimes we get relief in cases like most recently the post office carry win that we got that apply. Judges have begun limiting those, not by our choice, but this is what judges are doing. They're limiting them to the members of the associations. So by being a SAF member, when we get relief in a lawsuit for members of our organization, you would too benefit from that, whereas other people wouldn't. And again, not our choice to limit it in that way. If we had our way, everyone would get that protection, not just our members, but it is what courts are doing. And since that's the reality, you may as well pay the $25 and be a member.
Well, Kostas, thanks for the information. We're trying to learn what we can. We think is an important fight, and the Second Amendment Foundation is right on the top of it. We surely appreciate your help. Hey, thanks for being on the show. Now, you guys stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff.
There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the Shield stronger. Donate and help our cause, help their cause, because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org, because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.
The next generation Gerson double stack Witness 2311 takes the 1911 design to the next level. Compatible with many 1911 slides, barrels, and parts, the Witness 2311 series is not a wolf in sheep's clothing double stack like much of the competition. Don't be fooled by the words double stack. Get a Witness 2311 for a true evolution of a 1911 double stack with match grade features. Find yours starting at just $749. To learn more, visit eaacorp.com.
Hey, so we're just talking about going out to the range. Ursula, tell us more about GunStuff TV. I heard that it is now the largest repository in the world for shooting events. In other words, you can search for it. Why don't you tell our viewers how they can figure that out?
So basically, if you go to our website, GunStuff.tv, and you will actually come up to this page right here. If you go up to the top where it says events, it will pop up a calendar, the current month it is, which is February. And you will see most of the February events that are going on, matches, meetups, all that type of stuff. What you end up doing, if you want to narrow it down to your state, you can search that way as well. But I just looked, today there's all types of stuff going on today, just all over the country. And you can actually see all that on the website. I think a Girl and a Gun is having a meeting in Colorado somewhere. There's all types of stuff. So
and all the details are there. You can drill down, find out how to get there and everything. But
if it costs, who's going to be there, all that type of stuff. So play around that website. But the best way to do it is actually go to your state which is going to be on the left-hand side, little column. Pick your state or wherever you're going. Pick that. You can see what events are popping up during.
And
that
also, if you have a favorite shooting event that you attend regularly in your home state and you don't find it on our page, let us know. Send us an email. Send us a text, whatever, and we'll get it on there. We'll get it listed.
Yeah, we make it real easy. All they have to do is send us the link to the calendar, and it gets updated, and it's there forever.
Free.
Yep.
Now, training's a big deal, though, right?
Yes.
Now, we got Scott out here doing a little bit of training. And Scott, this is a different kind of training. Here you are more up close and personal. Scott, what are we looking at?
Yeah, so we're out doing some training today. Well, this was before the snow. But thing is getting the revolver out, getting some shots down range, and you guys had sent in the boomer, Charter Arms boomer, and we'll be talking about it and talking about its giveaway later. But just getting out and just getting some training in, just firing rounds, getting used to doing your reloads and everything, and just showing on this, I'm just showing a little bit of the accuracy at 15 yards, 25 yards, all that going out. And the thing is you got to get out and you just got to shoot, no matter what. Get out, get some rounds down range, knock the dust off and, get your skills in line, work on your reloads, all these things, and just practice.
Yeah, and at this time in the show, we're normally talking about a featured firearm, and our featured firearm is the exact one that you're talking about there. That is the boomer. Scott, we got 30 seconds. Just tell our viewers quick about this boomer, because we're going to talk about it later on in the show.
Yeah, so this is the Boomer 357 Magnum. No front sight, no rear sight. Just has a little channel that you look down.
It's not without a sight. It has a sight, but something unique.
Yep, has a little channel you look down, but the thing is, as you've seen on the targets, that's what I was shooting at 15 yards and still hitting the box that was this big. So still accurate, still able to get shots on target. But this thing is such a fun gun to shoot and to take out on the range. Just getting it in and out of your pocket is super easy, easiest revolver I've ever shot, and this is one of my new favorites. So just gotta say that.
I tell you what, we're going to tell you more how you can win it if you stick around. And
because the whole package is awesome.
Yeah, the package. Go ahead,
the whole package. So you got targets from TCRT, which I just did a review on myself, just personally, because they're cool. They're absolutely
self-healing
awesome.
targets.
Self-healing targets
last forever.
They I actually took slugs of mine. They will last forever and save you a lot of money. You have Liberty giving in ammo. And then you also have the ZKT wipes. So I don't want to put a dollar amount on this, but this is a very, very awesome package.
All right. Hey,
everything you need.
You guys stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff. Hey, welcome to the show, Montgomery Community College. And appreciate Mark Dye being on. He's the director of this great program. Tell our viewers about it, please.
Sure. Well, we're the largest in-person gunsmithing school in the United States currently. We have about 60 to 70 full-time students that are in our program at any given time, and we run about 400 to 500 people through short-term courses every year. And those short-term courses are anywhere from 2 to 10 days in length. You can come and take an armorer's course on IWI platforms, ARs, Remington 870s, or you can do a very specific gunsmithing class on a 1911 build class or a 1022 accurizing class. Things like that are very, very popular for us. I like to think that this makes us a fairly unique hub of instruction. You can go a lot of places to take shooting classes. You folks have been a lot of places for training and gotten some opportunities there. But there are a lot fewer places that are in one location that you can go receive training on gunsmithing and armor stuff. So we really are very proud of what we've done here. The school's been here since 1978. And we have a lot of offerings that should be helpful for everybody in the industry. We want to have good, highly trained gunsmiths and technicians for all facets of the industry.
Now, Mark, you've been around the longest. Scott, you were saying Back when you started being a gunsmith, as it were, how did you learn, and how was that experience for you, Scott?
So for me, was being a government agent, we had to maintain firearms and for the training department and stuff like that. So they sent us to armorers courses for our specific weapons, but then we had to go to armorers courses for all the weapons throughout my career. So I've been to a lot of them. So that's why when I retired, I started doing gunsmithing, and then I run into Chris at the range, and we hit it off, and then I started doing GunStuff TV, and I haven't really done, gunsmithing in a lot in a while. But the thing is, it's such an intricate discipline, and I say discipline, because it takes that to be able to get these guns apart and keep track of these parts and be able to get them all back together and everything. And I just think it's great that you guys have a course that teaches you all these problems, and the big thing is that when you're going to these courses, you're going to learn the ins and outs of it. You're not going to learn the hard way like I did, and you're not going to learn like the spring flies off and you're like, oh, what do I do now? This
is also pre-YouTube days, so same thing. I've been through a plethora of armorers courses, and with me being a little bit younger. And when prepping started to become a big thing, everybody's like, oh my God, you need skills. Yeah, guess what? I'm also going to need skills to fix these guns just in case it gets to that point. So what was even funny about that is I did an interview and I got asked for what's my end of the world gun? And I'm like, Glocks. A lot of people were a little bit upset that I didn't say 2011s. And I'm like, well, where I live, my area, there are more Glocks here than 2011s and 1911s, but being able to work on everything is a great tool in itself. So I would just like to point out, they do have scholarship programs, even though their classes are really inexpensive, because I'm already looking at the AK builders class. Because if you're young, you already know about battlefield pickup. So I might have to pick up an AK, and I'm like, oh man, I need to know how to work on this thing. And I was actually surprised that the tool list actually had real tools on it. I'm thinking AK builders just use rocks and hammers, but I guess not. So
no, these are serious classes for serious people, and we occasionally have people that look at the prices of our classes and are scared away because they assume that it must not be a very intensive class. But just due to the community college system and the things that we have in place, we're able to offer these classes at a pretty low cost for people. So I would absolutely encourage, come out and take a class and see what we're all about. You can see the classes here. We have wonderful labs. I'm very proud of the labs we have and the workspace. In this photo here that you're seeing, we've got one of our instructors for a short-term class teaching how to do dovetail sight cuts on a 1911 slide. That's something that would, be out of the range of a lot of hobbyists. But it's certainly within the range of what we can teach and what we can do within our shops. And, it also happens to be a lot of fun, too. We have a lot of people that come out for short-term classes every year for 20 years, 30 years. I'm not
even going to lie. Yeah. I would trust everything that man says on 1911s coming out of because of his mustache.
Yeah.
Just alone.
Right just because of his mustache.
Just right there. Like, yep.
Yeah, the mustache has his own zip code. Yeah. and we try to have.
He can literally tell me God forges himself, and I would absolutely believe him. 100%.
Yeah, and I got to say, the reason, one of the reasons I got into this was for work. But then when I got into doing gunsmithing and all that, the intricacy, like looking at this revolver on screen here, these small parts, making sure everything's lined up correctly, making sure everything's in the right spot and set and all that, those are the details that attracted me to it. And these are the things that you learn, right up close in person in the classroom. So.
Now, if you wanted to get if you did the whole yard, 9 yards, okay, is it a 4-year program, 2-year program? What kind of degree do you get when you're done?
So we do a 2-year associate degree program, and that's going to be sort of an overview of the industry, the trade of gunsmithing. So you do a little bit of machining, some repair classes, some metal finishing classes, a few custom build classes. You can see there we do a lot of Cerakote type finishes. We've invested pretty heavily in booth space and in ovens to do Cerakote curing. That's very popular these days. And we end up with students that enter the industry in all phases. We just came back from the SHOT Show. every year that I go to the SHOT Show, I see more former students working in booths at the show in different capacities, places like Geisley or Benelli or the Department of Energy. We have one that works for one of the Hollywood prop houses doing movie guns. So we have, a tremendous variety of students that have that have finished their program and then gone on to things in the industry. And I take a lot of pride in seeing those guys and gals down the road at other, places within the industry as a whole. And it's always exciting to see that. So, I'm very proud of our 2-year program. I'm very proud of the students that come out of that. And I'm also proud of the short-term classes that we're able to offer for people who can't take 2 years away from their life to come for that sort of training. Mm-hmm. You can do a sort of an ad hoc, a little bit at a time and gain experience in ways like that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Are there ways for our viewers here around the country to do anything remotely? Because some of us are not really in a position to quit our jobs and get trained all over again for a new career, but a lot of us would just like to learn more. What do you think?
So we don't have any online gunsmithing courses currently. We've spoken about that some. What we do have, though, is a hunting and shooting sports management program that's sort of like how to run a retail shop, the ins and outs of getting your FFL, maintaining your FFL,
that would be
all
good.
the things you need to do. So that's an excellent program. One of our gunsmithing instructors does that online program as well. And that's an excellent offering if someone is limited to online instruction.
Oh, no kidding. That sounds like a great.
I think I'll have to sign up for that one. I know. Managing all these FFLs and SOTs and all that stuff just for the gun, for our show, just to be able to manage firearms, getting them in and out is quite the problem sometimes. So it's the stuff I need to learn.
And what are they looking at here?
So this is one of the classes where students are having to do it's a repair class, but really they're learning the mechanical function of how the parts interact with each other inside firearms. So they're using an online available program that shows animations of various firearms and to gain an understanding of how those parts interact internally. And here, of course, you can see precise measurements going on. Obviously firearms have very tight machining tolerances. We have to teach those. When students do machining classes, they make tools. Of course, we're scrolling through pictures pretty quickly. This is a disassembly, reassembly exercise that students have to do under time constraints.
Oh, cool.
We do some shooting classes as well. This happens to be from one of our first shots classes that we did through the NSSF. So you can see some of these people probably are firing a gun for the very first time. So this is from the recent Firearms Engravers Guild. The lady there that in the center is this president of the Firearms Guild, of the Firearms Engravers Guild currently. She teaches classes at our college as well.
Well, I hate to say it, we're here at the bitter end. We've got 15 seconds left. If people want to learn more, I'm loving everything we're hearing. Where do they go?
Montgomery.edu is going to be the website, and then you can search for gunsmithing or NRA instruction in the tab at the top.
All right, well, we're going to leave it there. Mark, you're a favorite of ours. Let's talk next week. If you get a chance, give me a ring. I think I have a way for you to tell people about that retail management. We've got a pretty big list of retail stores. We'd love to send that information out to them so they could get hooked up.
That's wonderful. Thanks very much for having me.
You folks stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff.
But the one thing I can tell you about my family, it's bred into us. We're not quitters.
Facts and Firearms.
So welcome to the show, Charter Firearms. Hey, Chris, glad to have you here with us, telling us a little bit about Charter. Now, just to make sure we're rolling and we're getting some audio, we'll let you start and tell us a little bit about who you guys really are.
Okay. My name's Chris. I'm the plant manager of Charter Arms. We started manufacturing guns in 1964. We make all revolvers, everything from 22 caliber all the way up to 45 ACP, 45 Colt, pretty much everything in between.
Well,
I like how you say that all like super simple, knowing damn well y'all make something new every 2 months.
Yep.
Yeah, we just do what we do. Like, that's it. I'm like,
yeah,
that's a good intro.
At the beginning of the show here, we had this boomer. Now, Scott, tell our viewers a little bit about this boomer giveaway.
You're going to get the boomer pistol.
One winner is going to win the boomer. I got to do it all Brady Bunch style. This gun down here, and also right over there. Yay! So it's 357 Magnum. It has recessed sights on it. It is ported, and I can feel how hard Scott was smiling while he was shooting this gun. So that is so awesome. And also in this package, you're going to win a TCRT 3-set. Looks like a stencil as well. The entire bracket setup, ammo from Liberty Ammo, and ZKT wipes. So the entire package is looking close to like $1,000 here.
Yeah, it's a great deal. Now, I'll explain to Ursula and all you folks that are watching, all you have to do, if you're watching this on X, great. If you're on Facebook or Rumble, head on over there. If you're watching this in syndication, you're going to see this before the show's out. Head on over to X, and right at the top of our page, look for GunStuff TV. It tells you what to do. All you have to do is follow us, share this, and fill out the form. That's it. And then a month from now, we'll be there. And I think it's pretty generous, and we thank Charter Arms for making this possible. I think it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, and I just want to say I think this is one of the funnest revolvers I have shot in a long time. So the fact that you guys put this out with the channel in there, nothing gets caught, nothing gets hung up, nothing gets caught when you're bringing it out of your pocket or out of your holster or whatever it is. And those are the things that really, when you're in a tough situation and you need to get a firearm out, whether you're going to use it or not, you don't want to get caught up on stuff, sights and all that, and getting caught up on your shirt or anything. And this was such a pleasure to shoot. So yeah. So why did you guys make this?
Well, a little history. The original boomer, it was just based on our 44. And we were trying to strip it down, like you said, no extra bells and whistles. We found the front sight didn't really help much for self-defense. This trough sight that we have really brings your eyes right on the target. We tested it out both ways, all kinds of different things through the range. And this gun here gained kind of a cult following.
Oh, what's the matter with that? Let me take a look at Colt. Let's look at that grip.
That's how it got the name. Our first model that we made, this gun in my hand right now.
Let's hold it up there so our audience can see it.
We were showing it to a distributor. We put it down on the coffee table, and we went and did a little tour, and we came back, and our mascot Boomer was on the couch chewing on the gun. So,
that's pretty cool.
Absolutely crazy.
So that's how we got the name. And over the years, it really developed kind of a cult following. Some people, really love it. And we said the only way we could make it a little better is going totally concealed. People are a real big fan of our off-duty concealed aluminum frame. And, you're just limited by caliber. It only went up to a 38. So now we're totally steel. We're 357, 44, and 9mm.
Awesome.
Yep, you got all the calibers, all the main stuff you want in a revolver for defense. Yep.
So Scott,
absolutely.
I am going to sell you $50 so you can go shoot this through the pocket of a jacket. I just need to see it. Let's put it out there.
We'll do that before.
I think that'd be awesome. That'd be a great promo video while we're. I'm just saying.
Before this is the gun. Whoever wins, this is the gun you'll be getting, and it's in the video. But I'll take it out and I'll do some covert shooting through clothing and stuff like that, just to show you the capabilities of these firearms. It's amazing.
Great.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So there, we have there's another whole theory about this, and Chris, it's the 333 rule. Now, what does that mean exactly?
Most self-defense situations take place within 3 yards, with 3 shots fired in under 3 seconds.
All right.
Yep.
Nice.
And so why does that make a revolver the optimal choice?
It's simplified, less things that can go wrong. You're not going to have to worry about misfires, stovepipes, anything like this. I know everybody wants to be John Wick and carry 4 extra magazines nowadays, but the reality is you're probably never going to need more than a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
So if you're going into Washington, D.C., where Judge Jeanine is, and you are accosted on the street by somebody who wants to take your life, you don't have the time to pull it out, rack the slide, maybe put it in a new magazine or whatever. You just fire. And I like that about a revolver. What happens if a dud comes along? What do? Do you have to slap, rack, and jam, or whatever that is? Do you do that, Chris, or what? How's that work?
You sound like Tim Waltz right now.
Just
exactly.
Hold the trigger again.
Yeah, exactly. And then Scott, that's why you were talking before about the optimal sight that is smooth, so that when you pull it out of your jacket, it doesn't hang up on anything.
Just to give everyone a look, it's just that little channel right there.
Oh, there's the channel.
There's the little channel you look down right there, and that's the sight. You just put that right in the center, and it didn't look like I was shooting a really tight group when in the video where I was shooting a minute ago, where it said 15 yards. Also, it was also did a 25-yard shoot. And the thing is, though, is it will hold them about the size of my fist. So anywhere that fist is, you're gonna be hitting. And the thing is, I'm sure I could get much more accurate with this sighting system as well. Once I trained with it a little more. But the thing is, it was so fun to go out and just get this thing out of your pocket and just blast, and I'm going to do some more shooting through clothing and stuff like that as well.
Literally just went out there and start blasting.
So Chris, I got a question for you. This is the budget version that doesn't have a hammer, right? Or am I wrong?
Concealed hammer.
It's a concealed hammer. Who ever heard of a revolver? I don't know what you're doing. It's voodoo.
I love it. I love it. And actually, there's been an influx of revolver carries, like old, smaller, almost J-frames, and everybody, I don't know why. And then what's even funnier is all the kids are putting red dots on them, which I think is even hilarious.
Right.
But with this one, I would not put a red dot on this one because I love that sight channel.
Yeah, we tried all kinds of different sights, fiber optic stuff and high vis and stuff, and it's just added cost, and it's something else to snag. And like I said, we did a lot of testing. It's a really accurate gun, 1 7/8 barrel, and we do all our testing at 25 yards, and you can drill little groups. So, we thought that was the best of all worlds right there.
Well, this is how you guys look now, but originally, here's one of the first guns that came out back from when? When was this?
In 1964.
Wow. And, and look at this one in the box. I tell you, and that way you could mail it through, and anybody could get it. You have a whole museum there with your history. We got about 30 seconds left. Now, if people want to learn more about Charter Arms Manufacturing, where do they go, Chris?
You can check out our website, www.charterarms.com.
All right, charterarms.com. We'll leave it there. And now we'll have you back when we do the honors. That'll be a month from today. We'll be giving that away. And again, I have that for you right here. This is all that you need to do. Head on over to X, follow us, share this, and then sign up for the contest. And Ursula, I know you're going to be excited to announce the winner.
Follow these companies that are actually on this too. Follow TCRT, follow Liberty Ammo, follow ZKT Wipes as well. So go follow everybody. This is such an awesome giveaway.
Absolutely.
And don't be surprised if I win it. So anyway,
yeah, I'll be surprised. And
I know, right? That's the only thing that we don't get. We get a chance to play with them, we get a chance to shoot them, but then we got to pass them on. That's but we're happy to do that. We're happy to be able to do that for our viewers and provide such quality products.
Yes.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Give our regards to everybody back at the factory, and stick around. There's more to come from GunStuff.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, at this point in the show, let's bring on ScopeBumper.com.
ScopeBumper.com. Sorry, Chris is having a senior moment.
I did say Scope Bumper, not Scoop Bumper. Scope Bumper. And tell
we'll
our
see
viewers,
if we can come up with a product that would maybe be useful for scoops. I don't know.
That would be actually pretty funny for April Fool's Day. Just come with a scoop.
Thank you for joining us, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us, what is it? What is a scope bumper?
So what is a scope bumper? I have one in front of me right here. This is a question we get a lot when we're at shows, trade shows, and this is a new type of scope cover. Most importantly is we are trying to come up with the lowest profile type of scope cover on the market that stays out of your way at all times. Sorry, I'm trying to center it on the camera here. So when you're behind the scope, you don't see it. We've had a lot of success using this, especially with some of our military clients where they're running a diving board over top and they're running an LRF so that they can use for long range engagements such as sniper teams. But the other thing it's called a scope bumper too is, I don't know if you can see here in the very front, we have a buffer between the front of your scope and the front of our cover that's actually compressible, and it's a soft plastic. So it's literally a bumper for your scope. And, if you can indulge me for a moment, my history in coming up with this design was I used to shoot PRS on a semi-regular basis, and one day I was shooting at a local range that has a concrete wall as one of the stages that you have to shoot from. And they have a porthole in this wall. And so I'm sure you can see where I'm going with this. The first thing I did when the timer went off was sticking my rifle through that port, hit the front of the scope right on that concrete wall. And so thus the idea was born for, hey, I don't want to do that again, because that was an expensive scope.
Oh, geez.
That's kind of where the whole concept came from, and it's grown from there. We have a large product line at this point, which encapsulates flashlights, as well as through a company called RTK here in the Fort Bragg area. We make a selection of night vision covers as well for pretty much every type of night vision optic that you can imagine. In fact, we're currently working with some Tier 1 units on some new devices that they're going to be fielding. That's so we've got a lot of.
And the main thing is I was like, we've had scope covers since we've had scopes. I've used everything in my career from when I was in the Marine Corps. We quite literally took a sock and cut a hole in it and stretched it over our scopes in between when we were running from place to place, all the way up to super fancy aluminum little doors that swing off. And the big thing is that you guys have been able to find the best of both worlds: the retention for the scope cap, and then also the fact that when it flips up, it has the hinges in it. And thing is, it's so hard to come up with new products and new things and new ways to fix things. And I seen that, and I was like, "That's amazing. We got to have you on to talk about this."
So we really wanted to be better, right? I personally have been a competitive shooter since I was 14 years old, and do the math; it'll show my age here. I've been shooting competitively for 34 years, and still, like last year, I shot 30 competitions. So I've used a lot of equipment over the years, and there's been a lot of frustration had with various other cap designs where, when I'd shoot a PRS match, the first thing I would do before I even got on the line was I'd rip the covers off of my scope as I was getting out of the truck, toss them in my bag. I wouldn't see them again until the end of the day when I put my rifle back in the bag. And I hated doing that because, sometimes it would start raining or there'd be dust kick up, and I'm like, oh, geez, I don't have my cover with me. And I wanted something that was always low profile. I've shot a lot of the Night Force Attacker line of scopes, which that rear lens on it rotates whenever you adjust magnification. Well, so does the scope cap. Ours don't do that. So when that scope cap is in this position, you can rotate it all you want, and it's still not going to occlude an eye or be in your way while you're trying to engage targets.
That's awesome.
Oh, I can figure that. So you move it. If it's flipping, flopping, you move it. All of a sudden, you can't see anything.
You can't see out of your left eye, so you're not able to see your periphery.
No, I absolutely adore that you came up with this product, and I also realized the level of PRS shooter that I was, because I was running Vortex. I'm like, that got dinged up. I'm like, so was like, oh, I'll live another day. Like, okay. So thank you. I really do appreciate it. And then I'm like, am I just hard on myself too?
Yeah.
I know
we all are.
to be.
The people who use their firearms for real, we don't baby stuff. We learn to use it for real. And so, all of my stuff is dinged up in one way, shape, or form.
I would have to say
disciplines.
The real world, and also the real world tactical applications of this is by far the most important. I love the scope the fact the scope comes up and it conforms down around. But the thing is, the tactical application of it, of being able to see and have your lasers function off the diving board, or for anyone that has lights on your firearm. If you don't, lights get bumped. Because you'll turn them on and you'll have them set to where you can hit the pressure pad on the rear if it's mounted on your rifle. So if you're moving and it hits your leg, you can turn on. So you can leave that cap on until you're ready to actually, shed some light on something. Then flip the cap, and the cap stays. It doesn't get in the way. And light. I say improper light discipline has given away a lot of operations, and stuff like that, and especially, training and stuff like that. We know what we're looking for. Bad guys, not necessarily always, but still, it could give you away.
The other thing too that this has come in very handy for is there's a lot of law enforcement units that we've worked with that are using these, especially HRTs, SWAT teams, quick action teams that are doing a lot of force on force training with simunitions, and these will actually prevent simunitions from breaking your bezel.
Oh, cool.
So,
nice.
If you're just running around with a naked flashlight and you get that glass bezel hit with a simunition round, it's going to break. You're going to have to warranty that, or you're going to have to replace it. Whereas if you're using our flashlight covers, that won't happen.
That is cool.
Yeah, and especially, and the big thing is that really comes in handy with your IR and your night vision, stuff like that. Because those things are difficult. They're expensive to replace. They're expensive to fix. And then on top of that, you need to retain the caps. So that way when you come back out into the light sources and you want to turn them off, you don't want them to be exposed or anything like that to ruin the lenses. So these are a must-have.
So
for the night vision you were referring to, we do have a daylight hole on the center of the cap, kind of like you see if you buy a set of binos that are issued. They come with bikini covers. They have a little 1 millimeter hole in them, and that's actually so that you can use them for daylight training. So you can run those in the daylight, it'll protect the tubes, but you can still get the training value out of it, because especially with a bright, a military class illuminator, you can still see your illuminator, you can still see your laser in daylight, so you can zero, you can train. And this allows you to continue to do that with these covers.
Another thing I like about the product is that it's so light. The bands and the covers are extremely light, so you're not going to notice the weight difference. And the thing is, they hold so tightly to the scopes and to the devices that it's not going to make a difference on the limitations of it either. So that's an amazing.
We are using some very high grade nylon carbon fiber plastics that are extremely light. So, like for instance, for these GPMVGs, the entirety of that is about, I think, 50 grams.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to have to leave it there. Believe it or not, we're at the end. It goes pretty fast. So how do people learn more? If you're a podcast listener, they can't see it right on the screen. So how do they learn more?
You can go to scopebumper.com. You can also catch us on Instagram. Just search for Scope Bumper and go touch brass. This is our motto since we do a lot of competitive shooting.
Love it.
If you search for this on Google, it brings you right to us and all of our products and our social media.
The headrest safe is quick and easy to use. Some may even call it a game changer. The headrest safe acts as a safety net, protecting your belongings while keeping them out of sight and out of bounds of others, serving as security while also keeping your valuables in bounds. That's what the headrest safe provides for me. Game, set, match.
Hey, thanks for watching. Next week on GunStuff, Seal One and Done. Okay, you're going to have to stick around and find out what that is. Scholastic Shooting Sports Foundation. More fun for kids with shotguns. Pretty crazy. And Lyman, they have a product that you're going to want to see. They have been in the business for many, many moons, and they're going to be with us here on the show. But until that time, get your...
There's a kind of strength you can't buy or borrow. It's born in the fire, tempered by sacrifice, and carried by those who never stopped serving. Some heroes wear uniforms. Others wear scars. They're veterans, first responders, and Gold Star families. Men and women who gave everything and still keep giving. At the Warrior Shield Foundation, we stand beside them, shoulder to shoulder, providing the support, the care, and the community they deserve. We're a proud non-profit, a 501c3, built to protect those who protect us. We don't just serve our own. We help other non-profits reach their missions too, because together, we make the Shield stronger. Donate and help our cause, help their cause, because every act of kindness builds hope where the battle still rages inside. Join the mission. Donate today. Visit warriorshield.org, because heroes deserve a foundation as strong as their sacrifice.